though. Wow.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Relax.
Wow, this is freak hell.
Can't do it. I can't take this shit for you, man.
Wake up!
The new kingdom. It's the Out Big Dumb Mouth Podcast. Now, here's your hosts, Midnight Mike, Joe, and Burchett.
I'm a fetch.
Hey, everyone, welcome back to another fun-filled podcast adventure. Hooray. My name's Midnight Mike. Cretchet is over there eating licorice.
I hate this place.
It's not licorice. That's a beef stick.
Oh, nice.
See what this is. This is a Jack Link's no added MSG original beef stick.
Nice.
I like to eat.
It's not great.
Not the best. Well, it's better than the Slim Jim, right?
It's got less crap in it than the Slim Jim. But...
Hey, 1 second. My dog's barking. Right back. 15 seconds. My dog's barking for time.
Mike's dog is barking because apparently the show is not starting on the right note. So Mike's dog, being kind of like a technical director, is literally barking in his ear because it's upset about the quality of the broadcast at this point. And I'm not going to do much to change that. But
sorry, y'all.
We'll roll with it anyway.
Every time my dog
want a better snack, if you want a better snack, you want the old Wisconsin turkey sticks. Much better.
Eating a Reuben sandwich during the break.
That's a better snack. Sorry, I had to run out of here. We have fox problems here, and every time like my dog starts to bark, and the
I will
chickens
say,
go crazy. It's like I get freaked out.
You may hear it there, but that none of that comes through the gate. So,
whew. Okay, I think it was a close call, people. Oh boy, welcome back to another Saturday Fun Day show. We're going to do our best to get through some news and some entertainment things.
Saturday Fun Day.
Boy,
a lot of news this week.
A little bit of news. We'll touch on some current events.
Saturday.
I'll probably start off with current events. People are very upset at everything that's going on in the world. You called me this. You did this. Now you did this. A lot of tit for tat is going on. And it's very disturbing. People just want to settle down. But so let's get into some headlines here. I
heard someone this week talking about being upset. Someone this week said they're going to leave Facebook in a few more days.
Whoa.
I'm upset by this.
And I thought, okay, well, this is the same person who also several years ago dropped off of Twitter because Elon Musk bought it. And thus, now Twitter is a cesspool. Because apparently it wasn't before.
Oh, everything was fine before, yeah.
Right. And so as somebody who only kind of tangentially looks at social networks, it all seems the same to me. I don't notice a difference.
There's a lot of raw sewage, Cretchet. We can't forget what Obama said. Obama said that they're going to flood the entire ecosystem, entire internet with sewage.
Citizens no longer know what to believe.
Yeah. It's not like before they had to be told what to believe. Now they don't even know what to believe.
Raw sewage.
Raw sewage, huh? So was that before or after the...
Hard to tell. But things are heating up.
Removal of the Smith-Mundt Act.
Remember,
the update of the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act.
Yeah, they modernized it so they could flood the internet with raw sewage.
Raw sewage. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've been swimming in raw sewage.
Mm-hmm. I love
it.
Well, after Charlie Kirk's assassination, the right blamed the left blamed the right. The middle threw up their hands and said, I don't know. The conspiracy theorists blamed Israel. and then the hardcore analysts started pointing at drones. And now another shot has been fired, and it looks like Jimbo Kimmel.
Did you say drones?
Yeah, drones. There are drones. Maybe I'll have a chance to get into that. I wasn't going to talk about Charlie Kirk's assassination too much, but maybe I'll get into that later.
I've not heard the drone theory.
Yes. But now Jimmy Kimmel, a.k.a. Jimbo Kimmel, has become the latest in the casualty of this war, I guess. And he was canceled from ABC, which is owned by Disney. And this headline I have up on screen right here is how benching Kimmel landed Disney's Iger, Bob Iger, in the middle of a culture war.
Oh, really?
Well, this is from MSNBC or MSN.com, but Disney's been in the middle of a culture war for a long time.
For decades.
Yeah, this is not new. What is?
I mean, they torpedoed their golden goose, the Marvel universe, by going all in on woke nonsense and a bunch of movies, and they made a bunch of crap movies that people have stopped watching, and they're going to have to bring back what's his face, the guy.
They'll have to bring back. Well, they're trying to bring back Robert Downey Jr. for.
Yes, thank you.
It proved when you bring back these old guys, like for instance Wolverine, people still will go to the theaters to see them, and so they are trying to get Robert Downey Jr. To come back next year. They're filming stuff with him to play Dr. Doom. Now, whether or not that movie's any good, I don't think it matters as long as people come see the movie, even if it's a bad movie. They've been in a culture war, like I said, for a long time when it comes to destroying franchises and, in general, inserting politics into the entertainment. And that's their right to do so as a private company. It's also...
as a company who doesn't like money.
Yeah. They can do whatever they want. I have a right to complain about it and not watch it. But now, according to Washington Post and MSN, now Disney's in the middle of a culture war, whereas maybe before...
it's MS Now, right?
Yeah,
they dumped the MSNBC thing.
It's hard to tell. That brand didn't go over very well.
We don't know.
No, that was a bad move.
Yeah, I think they're regretting it, much like Cracker Barrel. They're trying to just casually roll that shit back. But
rebrand a white container didn't.
What this headline is telling us is that Disney was on one side of the culture war. Now they've taken a step to the middle of the culture war, whereas before they were on one side, and now they're a little indifferent. So I'll read this article here. In late 2022, Bob Iger stepped out of retirement to help run the struggling Disney further into the ground. I ad-libbed that. So they help return the struggling Disney to the golden age he'd ushered in as chief executive from 2005 to 2020. Now Iger is steering the entertainment giant through one of its most critical junctures of his second run, the suspension of late night host Jimmy Kimmel, or Jimmy Kimmel Live. He's caught between two aggrieved factions. On one side, the Trump administration officials with sway over mergers and public airwaves. On the other side, Hollywood unions and critics of the president who accused Disney of pandering to an increasingly censorious right. Quote, where has all the leadership gone? Former Disney CEO Michael Eisner said in a social media post on Friday. If not for university president, law firm managing partner, and corporate chief executive standing up against bullies, who then will step up for the First Amendment? Disney-owned ABC pulled Kimmel's show off the air this week for comments he made in relation to the killing of right-wing activist Charlie Kirk. And that's what the article's saying here. The announcement spurred an outcry and accusations the network had buckled to a pressure campaign targeting a vocal critic of President Donald Trump. Industry observers, Iger is between a rock and a hard place. The latest media executive to face blowback under the president, who has alleged or who has alleged unfair treatment at the hands of mainstream news outlets and said networks against him should potentially lose their license. So that's just a quick once-over. People are upset about what Kimmel said. I don't know if I was that upset. It was divisive, but that's just par for the course when it comes to late-night TV hosts. The news in general, maybe I'm just acclimated to it, so I don't really take that much offense to it. Maybe I can find his clips. I don't think I have exactly what Kimmel played, but maybe I can find it real quick to get some context here. Jimmy Kimmel, Kirk.
Yeah, what did he actually say? Was this the comment he said that Charlie Kirk was killed by MAGA people? Was that the one?
Yeah, so I'll just play the audio here. We don't need to see him, but I'll play the audio here, and I'll see if I'm offended. I probably won't be, but maybe. Who knows? I might be. I might break down in tears right now.
We had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish.
And so, I mean, that's the comment right there. I don't think it's anything that egregious other than the first statement that the right wing is trying to do anything in their power to paint the shooter as anything other than MAGA, which to a certain degree is true, but it's the way he positioned it made it seem as though the shooter is. And
well, the way what he said there was this guy was clearly MAGA, and the right wing wants to say he wasn't MAGA. Yeah. But that's an absolute falsehood. Yeah. And so I think that's where a lot of people are going after this is like you're just making false statements.
Yeah, I don't.
You could make the argument it's a. You can make the argument it's an entertainment show.
Yeah.
They're not held to journalistic standards or anything. It doesn't matter. That's fine. The big thing is Disney, to your earlier comment about Disney and Iger, they were clearly looking for any excuse to get out from under Kimmel's contract.
That's what it appears. And
I have his ratings up on the screen here.
Oh, his ratings. Oh boy.
So what they call within the demo, within the ever popular 18 to 49-year-olds who purchase stuff, he was getting something like 150,000 viewers a night.
Oh,
there's YouTube channels that have way more than that.
And like it starts 2014, not bad, and then it just keeps going down, down, down. Oh,
Record deepness, right?
Yeah, but look at the numbers even in 2014. 750,000. That's
still,
nothing.
Still not good. You're right.
That's
not good.
Not good numbers.
Yeah, it does. It just does look like for whatever reason,
I almost wonder
they want to get out of this.
Yeah, and was there something in the contract that said we don't have to pay your golden parachute or whatever it is if your ratings are below this level or if you're fired for cause or something like that that lets them get out of that rather than just like, oh, this show is terrible, we're going to buy out your contract like they had to do with Conan O'Brien, then they buy him out. So, yeah, Conan O'Brien leaves the whatever NBC, was it Tonight Show?
It was the Late Show. He took over for Jay Leno. Jay pretty much refused to leave the airwaves.
But that was the Tonight Show, though, right?
That was the Tonight Show.
So when they got Conan to leave, they had to pay him like $60 million.
Yes, a ton of money to basically sit on his hands while they brought Jay back in because they couldn't fire Conan because he didn't have as good of ratings. He didn't fire him because he said something outrageous or broke a morals clause or anything like that. They wanted Jay back, and so they had to pay him a lot of money. Now, as for this, Kimmel, they could probably claim and make an argument you broke the morals clause or something like that and get out of paying him whatever his contract is.
Advertisers talking about pulling ads, or they're looking for other excuses. Clearly,
yeah, and this all goes to the TV affiliates, like Sinclair Broadcasting Tenet, where those advertisers at the syndication level, the rebroadcasters, the local stations didn't want to carry Kimmel, and their advertisers were basically up in arms, and so that put pressure on the bigwigs at Disney. They had to make a decision. They said, "Okay, you know what? We want that time slot, so we are just going to rerun Celebrity Family Feud, and that's going to get just as good as ratings as Kimmel."
You're not wrong. They could put on like let's do the NFL wrap up show. Let's run episodes from 1979, tic-tac-toe. They could run a bunch of crap and it would probably get really close to the same amount of ratings.
Well, people are upset. Apparently, they're
upset because it's affecting their side.
Well, if it was affecting their side, they'd be watching Kimmel. It's
true. These people are not Kimmel viewers.
I don't think that they are.
No.
But there is a protest going down outside of ABC headquarters. People are upset. People are mad. And here's just a little sample of this protest of what's going down outside of ABC headquarters.
What's going down?
You got to watch out, people. There is big things happening. We've never seen a protest like this for Kimmel or any late night host, pretty much, when they got fired. Did Colbert have this kind of like support? I don't know if he did.
Well, Colbert simply announced that he was leaving at the end of the year. Yeah. He's not actually been off the air, but again, people wouldn't notice.
No. Well, here's a little bit of this protest here.
ABC,
So let's be clear about what happened.
Okay.
ABC did not cancel this show in a vacuum. He did was call out the fact that they are using the murder of Charlie Kirk to come after, they're cynically using it to come after their political opponents. Was he right about that? Yes! Did they prove him right once again when they came after him? Yes! All right, Jimmy Kimmel needs to be brought back on air immediately.
Yes, he does!
And I want to echo everyone, including Jim Keedy, who very powerfully talked about how what we are facing now is not just another bad president. Oh. We are facing fascism.
Yes. Kimmel safe! Trump must go!
Read the chant on the card.
And you could, and there's Twitter is filled with nothing but people calling this an attack.
I'm just here for $20.
It's an attack on free speech. This is fascism. The Trump is using the FCC to.
Did Congress pass a law that Jimmy Kimmel can't be on the air?
Not that I saw, but
okay, so it has nothing to do with the First Amendment.
They're accusing Trump of using the FCC to apply pressure to these corporations in order to get them to fire Jimmy Kimmel, which that may be true, but I haven't seen a lot of evidence of that, other than some words said by the FCC chairman that he said he might do that. But we don't know if that's actually taking place. We don't know how heavy-handed he's actually being in the background.
But just to be clear, Congress has not passed a law outlawing Jimmy Kimmel's show.
Not that I know of, no.
So it is not a First Amendment issue.
It's not, because he can go on the street, he can start a podcast, he can go say anything he wants, anywhere he wants. He has the exact same free speech that I have, and you, Cratchit. He just doesn't get paid the masses of millions of dollars a year that he just was getting paid. Now,
where's my crocodile tears?
Now, I don't. I'm not for or against him getting fired. Like, I honestly, I don't want to see him be taken off the air because of his speech.
Hey, remember when he was a comedian?
Yeah, I do. So I'm not for it, but also I don't know if I have a lot of sympathy with him or anybody who's claiming censorship, because where were they when Alex Jones was banned from every major
simultaneously
internet platform, ranging from Spotify to Apple to Facebook to Twitter, all at the same time, all because of his words, all because of his free speech. These people were absolutely nowhere. They were not calling for censorship. In fact, I think they were cheering it on. Where were they during COVID when people were being shut down? I had videos taken down off of YouTube.
Yeah, we couldn't use the phrase COVID. We had to use the closest we got is COVID.
COVID or COOF.
The COOF, and in fact, the Discord channel is still called COVID. Because YouTube was simply doing a keyword search for that and throwing stuff off the interwebs.
And it wasn't just because they wanted to do it; they were doing it at the behest of
the
government, the CDC.
But that's not fascism.
But that's not censorship. So where were these people? They're not very consistent.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Not very consistent. And the people calling this cancel culture, yes, it is cancel culture to a certain degree, but they kind of started it. And so I don't know if I have a lot of sympathy. If Jimmy Kimmel did a turnabout and said, you know what, me cheering on Alex Jones getting thrown off the air, me cheering Tucker getting thrown off the air, I was wrong about that, then I might have some sympathy, because now he's facing this. But I haven't seen him do any sort of amends on that.
No, of course not.
No,
he's just going to go even harder with his 62,000 people watching, with his 33,000 people watching, with his 14 people watching. You can hear him all in the audience.
Well, and the Democrats are rushing to the side of the First Amendment all of a sudden, and they're very concerned that Trump is going to start cracking down on speech. And it's not just Trump; it's the Trump administration. And
the cheerleading for Israel is a problem,
and so they're extremely worried about this. They're so worried about this that not but a few years ago they had the opposite feeling, and here is their opposite feeling of the Democrats on speech over the past 5 years. So here it is. Here's how you feel about speech.
You shouldn't be banned from one platform and not others for providing misinformation out there.
There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
There are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda, and whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrent.
If people go to only one source, and the source they go to is...
Yeah. So the initial couple of clips you had, there were people getting kicked off of things or being silenced.
Yeah.
Hillary took it to criminal charges.
Yeah, possibly being fined. Let's rewind. She knows how to take it up a notch, though. You got to give it to her. Yeah, she does the... Here we go. Let's see if we can...
There are Americans who
especially around our democracy,
engaged in this kind of propaganda, and whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrent.
If people go to only one source, and the source they go to is sick and has an agenda, and they're putting out disinformation, our First Amendment stands as a major block.
Oh boy.
It's really hard to govern today.
This is a matter of corporate responsibility. Twitter should be held accountable and shut down that site. It is a matter of safety and corporate accountability.
The First Amendment is not absolute. It does not protect any single thing anyone says. And there are limits, and that's important. And what this committee has been trying to do for the last year and a half is to chill the federal government from monitoring what is going on social media.
When you look at what Tucker Carlson and some of these other folks on Fox do, it is very, very clearly incitement of violence. Very clearly incitement of violence. I believe that when it comes to broadcast television, like Fox News, these are subject to federal law, federal regulation in terms of what's allowed on air and what isn't.
So my biggest concern is that your view
does she provide a
has
single
the First
example of this clear
Amendment
incitement to
hamstringing the
violence?
government in significant ways.
So here's the thing. So if the FCC was doing an investigation of Kimmel and he wasn't a habitual abuser of the airwaves, historically, if there was some sort of morality clause or some egregious statement made, the FCC would most likely levy a fine. And Howard Stern went through this all through the 90s and early 2000s of saying something.
Yeah.
So they would issue a fine and make the station pay for it, or stations at this point, ABC or Disney would have to pay that fine, and then they might reprimand.
Well,
Kimmel.
I'm also wondering, to your point about Sinclair Broadcasting, there's a couple other groups who are involved in this who own 50, 60 stations, whatever. What's important, and you just brought it up with Howard Stern. Howard Stern got fined by the FCC because he was on over-the-air broadcast radio, FM radio.
Mm-hmm.
I think he started AM, didn't he? AM, and then he went to FM. But anyway,
pretty early FM.
Similar with Kimmel on ABC, that is an over-the-air broadcaster, television station that anyone can pick up without special equipment or being a subscriber. Whereas there's different rules for cable television and for things that are only available through streaming services and whatnot. So I think that's really what they're going to lean on this one. Whether or not the FCC gets involved, I think the bigger concern is going to be, could some of the rebroadcasters, some of the franchisees also be responsible if they're broadcasting something which runs afoul of the FCC decency clauses?
Yeah,
honestly, I think this is all a smokescreen because they're looking for an excuse to get out of Kimmel's contract.
Kawawa.
To your point, they could replace him with reruns of the 2014 World Championship Series Vegas poker tournament and probably do better.
Yeah, and so Kimmel right now, he is lawyering up. He is he's probably going to sue for the rest of his money or to get back in the air, but we'll see if that happens. His contract's up next year anyways, I believe. And what it does, it really elevates him. It elevates Kimmel, and his brand has never been bigger. He's now...
is his contract up this year?
Next year, I believe.
This is interesting. I didn't know that. That's an interesting negotiating tactic. That now Disney can go back and say, you know what, Jimmy? Tell you what, we're going to put you back on the air. We're going to do all this stuff. However, based on the problems we had last fall, you remember those? We're going to have to, come in and lowball you.
It very well might be.
Here's your ratings. Here's the complaints we got from all our sponsors. Here's the challenges we had with the FCC. We're good. That's all been cleared up. But $2 million a year, not 20 or whatever it is.
Whatever it may be, but his brand has been elevated. And if he was smart at this point, he would do the same thing that his buddy Adam Carolla did, which is start your own YouTube thing, start your own podcast.
That's right.
Do it. Like
Kimmelcast.
Kimmelcast. There you go. It is prime time for him to do this at this point. He's got enough money. He's got enough friends. Everything I heard, like he's a nice guy in person. Like that's what I've heard. Jimmy Kimmel is a nice guy in person. He might not like his comedy or anything, but he is a good friend to the people that he knows, and that very well may be true. But it's time for him to just start a podcast, get on YouTube, and start streaming. Start playing PUBG, Fortnite.
I don't know if you have anything more on this topic. I do have something specifically on the complaints that ABC has received, and I pulled this for my news story for one of my stories from a different perspective, but we can bring it up here.
Let's do it.
All right, it's in Carrot Shop. So these people you were running the protest. They are so invested. They are so so much diehard fans of what Jimmy Kimmel does. They know all his bits. They know everyone on his show. They know everything he does. They're tied in to the point they're so upset about this, they complain to the wrong ABC.
Well, here's the headline here. I think this comes from Australia.
Yes.
Yeah. America is not happy. ABC under fire for pulling Jimmy Kimmel live.
Oh, really?
Yes. Let's see here. In short, I'll read the in short here. The American Broadcasting Company just axed Jimmy Kimmel live for comments the host made referencing the murder of right-wing activist Charlie Kirk. The Australian Broadcasting Corporation has received hundreds of complaints intended for America's broadcasting company about the show being canceled. The vast majority of the complaints sent to the Australian Broadcasting Corporation contained expressions of dismay, with many citing concerns about free speech and the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution.
This is another one of these articles where, since this has been published, they changed the headline. So this was published yesterday, and the headline that you'd read was, America's not happy, ABC under fire for pulling Jimmy Kimmel.
Yes.
However, look at the URL slug for the original headline.
The URL says complaints about Kimmel axing meant for U.S. ABC sent to Australia.
Yes. So that's what the story was originally about, was all these complaints from these diehard Jimmy Kimmel fans being sent to the wrong ABC.
They weren't even smart enough to send it to the American corporation? They sent it
Correct.
They couldn't go to abc.com. They went to abc.au or .net.au.
Or how they found it. They probably went to the Googles, to the Tickety Talks, to the Snip Chimps, Instacams, and they said, what's ABC's customer service email, and they clicked on the first one they got. Or
it was a bot farm doing it, and the bot farm was set up incorrectly.
No, I think these are just idiots.
It's just dumb.
They're still bots in that case. But it says the vast majority of complaints sent on the topic to the Australian Broadcasting Corporation contained expressions of dismay that Kimmel showed him put off the air, et cetera, et cetera. It's not clear if these complaints the ABC is receiving are representative of those the U.S. ABC is receiving, but it's clear members of the audience aren't happy with the decision. So, Nextar, that was the other one thing. So it was Nextar and apparently Sinclair are the two big ones that are pushing back on this. So.
What is email?
Anyway, so it's just amusing. You saw that half-hearted, half-assed protest because people were just there for $50 and a sandwich. What do we want? I don't know. Yeah. When do we want it? At some point before 4 p.m. They're so upset they're writing complaints to the wrong ABC.
Yep. All right. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well,
I do want to point out in the chat here, Vulgar Hysterics brings it up. He says USAID/CIA is no longer doling out the cash to offset these losses. There's probably a good portion of some of these things that were being propped up by some of these very, very sketchy NGOs who kept handing off, and they'd go layers and layers and layers deep to find out that, let's say Disney, ABC, whoever was receiving $50 million a year to keep some of these things going.
Yeah, how did Stephen Colbert operate at a negative $40 million a year for the past few years? I mean, how do you justify that as a business, losing $40 million a year, if not it being propped up by some other means or there was some other agenda to operate it at a loss like that? It's no longer for business. It's for vanity, for propaganda.
Yep.
I think it's definitely some of that to it.
Mm. Well, yeah, that's all I got on this, I think. Let me see here. Yeah, that's it. They're hypocrites for crying about censorship. And okay, yeah. It sucks. I wish everyone could just, do their thing, but apparently they can't. They can't just do their thing. Okay.
They can always go to Blue Sky, and they can
Blue Sky's
yell
great.
about it over there.
That it does turn out that the Blue Sky is not doing so well. They're hemorrhaging users. People are fleeing the platform, and they're going to other social networks, mostly Twitter. They're going back to Twitter because they missed the fight. They missed the aggravation. They're addicted to rage, and so they're going back to Twitter.
And two things going on in Blue Sky. One, Blue Sky is very much an insulated echo chamber.
Oh, yeah.
Very much. So not only do they miss the fight, but the conversation really isn't there. You can't come out and make your big, broad statement about something and get a bunch of people, shouting back at you or even agreeing because, it's everyone agrees. Everyone's all on the same page. So why would you? But also, it's the numbers simply aren't there. You're not getting the views. So you go post your thing on Blue Sky and you get 30 views. I go over to Twitter and I yell at somebody on Twitter and I get 1,000 views.
Oh,
so why wouldn't I go on Twitter?
Yeah.
What is Twitter?
What is Twitter?
We don't even know.
What is email?
We're finding out, Alex.
by the way, since you ran that one out of, apropos of nothing, right above the ABC article I have in Carrot Shop, I dropped this little ISO in the in there. You might want to just put this one aside from somewhere.
This a good one. Let me see here. Let me download this right now. Let me play it just to sample it.
Oh, do I smoke? I'm a chain smoker.
Who said that?
So that was from who posted that? Turd Hole found an Instagram reel that was a bunch of like a 1980s VHS dating videos, and so some of these very over the top personalities, let's say. So I cut that one out just because
that's a good one. That's a good little tidbit. Let me hear it again.
Oh, do I smoke? I'm a chain smoker.
She's happy about it too.
So if anyone wants to see that, it's in the video channel in the Discord. Join the Discord as little as $1 a month or maybe more.
Yeah.
Correct me on this, Mike. They join Patreon, they should automatically get an invite to Discord. Is that how it works?
That's correct. If you use the same email for both Patreon and Discord, you will automatically be assigned the OBDM Discord room.
Exactly.
If you use different emails, well, send me a DM on Patreon and we'll send you an exclusive invite.
That's right.
So anyway, lots of great stuff like that video in the OBDM Discord. And again, for those of you who want more interactions with Joe, you miss your Joe, your daily dose of Joe. Joe is in the Discord a lot.
Yeah.
So it's obviously not the same because you don't have him coming on and sharing odd videos and news stories and ranting live on the show, and he'll be back eventually. But if you still want a little taste of Joe,
he's in there.
I'm going to rephrase that.
He might. Well, I see what you're saying, but if you want like a little pinch of Joe, he's in there.
Just a pinch of Joe
with my shirt off.
Yeah, he might. He likes to. He might be in the Discord with his shirt off, but you will never know unless you post a picture, which he doesn't often do.
Shirt off.
All right, let's talk about underwater UFOs.
Wouldn't those just be underwater FOs?
USOs, underwater submerged objects, or unknown, unidentified
submerged.
Yeah, unidentified submerged objects.
I guess it couldn't be an F because the F is for flying.
Yeah, so it's submerged,
floating.
I'm a drunk ass redneck.
So one of our favorite representatives, Tim Burchett, he has come out and said some incredible things about UFOs. As you know, I didn't even really cover it. There was a big UFO committee hearing, a week or two ago, and it was lackluster. As with all of
these, they've all been.
They haven't moved the goalpost. They haven't moved the ball down the field too much at all. It has been the same stories that we've heard pretty much for the past 30 years, not including too many alien abductions. There was one person on the panel that briefly mentioned alien abductions, but they quickly got around that. They don't want to talk about alien abductions. They just want to talk about weird flying things that could or maybe not be military vehicles or projects. But they're hell-bent on it. But Tim is leading the charge on these committees, and God bless him because he's very passionate about this topic, as with some of the other representatives. And I'm all for it, but like I said, it doesn't feel as though we're making much progress at all. We're just going around in circles. It's one big hamster wheel. But I'll bring this up here, please.
Now, I have not read anything about this recent hearing, nor have I heard any clips. Was this one where they said they couldn't tell you unless they're in a SKIF? Or is this one where they said they have no further information on that particular question?
They did mention the SKIF, and they have had SKIF meetings with, I believe, David Grusch.
Well, Lou Elizondo said the same thing.
Yeah, but in particular, in reference to David Grusch, the guy who was basically the big whistleblower of the past 2 years, he was, right before he was to enter the SKIF, he said there was, according to, I believe, Rep Luna, said that there was an interaction that David Grusch had with somebody else, and it resulted in law enforcement being called. So either David Grusch was accosted by somebody, assaulted, threatened, talked to, and then David entered the SKIF. We don't know what the results of that investigation is, what happened to him, or the results of the SKIF meeting. We have no idea. We're in the dark here, totally going blind. But now there is Tim coming out here up on screen. Tim is saying some incredible things, like this headline right here. Tim Burchett says, there are entities coming from several deep water areas. That's what he's saying right there.
Oh, really?
Now, this is not necessarily a new idea, but it is new that a person who is in the House of Representatives is saying it. So the congressman made the eyebrow-raising remarks after being approached while he was walking in the street recently. Wonder where he's going. Was he going to Taco Bell or coming from Taco Bell? I don't know.
He was on his way to Arby's.
Maybe. Well, maybe. I bet he was.
Representative Burchett, are you coming? Are you going to Taco Bell or are you coming back from Taco Bell? Wait,
he's probably coming back from Arby's because people say weird stuff when they get all filled up with Arby's. So
you get all hopped up on Arby's.
The particular exchange, which occurred on September 17th, saw Burchett speak out in candid fashion about extraterrestrial visitors as he walked along the street of Washington, D.C. Quote, what if these entities that are here on this earth, that have been on this earth for who knows how long, and we think they're coming from way out, he said. Okay, that's a weird way to say they're coming. It's a weird way for saying the call is coming from inside the house. Quote, maybe they did a millennia ago, but they're here and they're in these deep water areas. Like we say, we know more about the face of the moon than what we know what's going on there, the ocean. We have a higher prosperity of sightings around these 5 or 6, I believe, deep water areas. It creates a question there. And then when we have naval personnel telling me that we have these sightings, these underwater craft, they're chasing that go hundreds of miles an hour, and the best we got is something that does maybe a little under 40 miles an hour. So I got a lot of questions about that stuff. And the article continues here. It remains unclear if Tim Burchett was simply reeling off opinions or if he believed all that to be a fact. You can check out the footage for yourself below. And here's Tim walking to Arby's, and we'll play this right
coming back with his takeout from Arby's.
Now, it's not confirmed that he was walking to Arby's or Taco Bell. It's just assumed.
We need people to start asking these representatives questions like that.
Yeah.
How was the big beef and cheddar? Did you get the spicy chicken?
What if these are entities that are here on this earth, these that have been on this earth, that, who knows how long, and that we think they're coming in from way out. Maybe they did millennia ago, but they're here and they're in these deep water areas. And that's why, like we say, we know more about the face of the moon than we do what's going on there. And we have a higher propensity of sightings around these 5 or 6, I believe, deep water areas. And so to me, it just it creates a question there. And then when we have naval personnel telling me that we have these sightings and that there's these underwater craft they're chasing that are doing hundreds of miles an hour, and the best we've got is something that does maybe just a little under 40 miles an hour. So I got a lot of questions about that stuff, and I mean,
there you go. He said everything I did is read. Okay. I guess we didn't need to play that.
Because you read a transcript of that video,
Yeah.
and then you played the video of him saying exactly what you said in the transcript.
Kind of pointless. But I like to be thorough here. Maybe we could have picked up on something. We heard nothing.
What you should have done is come back and say, see, he just confirmed everything I just read.
You're right. He double confirmed everything that was said there. So there we go.
I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start reading transcripts or something, then play the video of the from which the transcript comes.
I appreciate his candidness and him willing to be open and talk about this stuff, where not even 5 to 10 years ago you wouldn't get this kind of candor from an elected representative. So he's out there, he's saying this stuff, he's interested, he's trying to move the ball down the field. The problem is, I don't think that committee has the balls or the legal authority to really start giving subpoenas to the heads of these aerospace companies, to the gatekeepers of this information. And they don't want to. That's why they bring up George Knapp, who is an author and a reporter and a journalist. And he was just repeating stuff that we've heard since the early 90s. Yeah, there was some, I think one naval guy there who was talking about the USOs. He's the one I think actually mentioned alien abductions. But we need, these guys are just people on the ground giving their eyewitness reports or what they heard. We need people actually in authority to be called to testify in front of Congress under oath, and we're not getting that. And I'm not sure that we will. I think that would rock the boat too much. Either give away the whole facade of the UFO phenomenon, or would expose the truth of it. Either way, they don't want to do that because it's a pretty good gambit that they got going on right now. So, let's see. So that led me to this book that I purchased. I found this book down in Yellow Springs, Ohio. You might know Yellow Springs. It is the hometown of
Larry Bird?
Not Larry Bird. No, Dave Chappelle.
Is he from there? Or is that where he lives now?
It's where he lives now. He lives outside of town. And this book is called Invisible Residents. It was written back in 1970. And the subtitle here is Invisible Residents. Is there intelligent life beneath the waters of the earth? And back in the 1970s, this guy, Ivan Sanderson, was hot on the trail of this idea of tracking down USOs. Why are UFOs commonly seen above large bodies of water, going in and out of this stuff? And he had documented a good number of sightings. Now, recently, prominent UFO author and commentator Richard Doland, he put out a book about USOs. I think volume 1 he just put out, documenting a lot of these different eyewitnesses and events of these orbs or craft coming in and out of the water. And I think he's probably of the same opinion as this author, is that if these aliens or whatever they are here, they're probably deep under the sea. They're hiding out down there. It is a great place to hang out if you can get there, and plus great camouflage. You know, it's tough to get down there.
Record deepness, right?
It is.
The Great Lakes.
Yeah, freshwater and saltwater.
I support the Great Lakes.
Mm-hmm.
They like both. Now, in this book, like I said, it documents a lot of different activities when it comes to USOs, and he makes some speculation as to what may be going on here. But I'll just read a few of the cases to kind of give an overall, hey, what's going on here with some of these weird USO cases. So this is a case from 1967. See here, and this is the case of the Navarro. So arriving at once on deck, the captain beheld a shining object in the sea no more than 50 feet away from the starboard side of the ship. It was cigar-shaped, and he estimated it to be about 100 to 110 feet in length. It had a powerful blue and white glow. It made no noise whatsoever and left no wake in the water. The mysterious craft paced the Navarro for about 15 minutes. The next development, however, was disconcerting to the captain. The mysterious craft suddenly dived and passed right underneath their ship and vanished rapidly into the depths of the sea at a great speed. As it went deeper and deeper, they could still see it glowing brightly beneath the water, but then it got so deep that that light faded. So he was under the impression, and gave the overall impression that this thing was paralleling the ship for about 15 minutes, which is kind of like, is that a friendly maneuver? I wouldn't necessarily think that would be a friendly maneuver to pace for 15 minutes and then dive right underneath the ship. The behavior kind of suggests that it might be an intimidation tactic, like, hey, these are our waters, so steer clear. Not sure what to make of that. But then there's another case in 1945, the Delaroff case. The Delaroff incident occurred in the summer of 1945. So the captain turned and saw a large round object which had just emerged from the sea. Several crewmen saw the UFO actually appear from underwater and an estimated mile or so from the ship itself. The unknown craft, showing darkly against the setting sun, climbed almost straight up for a few moments and then arced into a level flight and began to circle the ship. Comparing it to the width of your finger held out at arm's length, Crawford, the captain, estimated the UFO to be about 150 to 250 meters in diameter. It circled the ship for a few minutes. They did say that the flying object was easily within the ship's gun range, but the gun crew held their fire, though they were on alert for any signs of hostility. The UFO, like I said, circled for a few minutes, moving smoothly with no audible sound before disappearing into the ocean again. So, kind of crazy, kind of poking their head up, circling around, checking out what's going on around here, and then going back under. And so there's like just a bunch of these different cases from this book, Invisible Residents. Now, what the author insinuates, or just he doesn't really get too much into speculation, but you can kind of infer some stuff from what he's saying here. So Sanderson, the author, is suggesting is like, what are these craft doing? What do they want? Well, first, observing and monitoring. So he repeatedly treats the sightings as a method of surveillance or monitoring our activities, rather than these craft being just some random lights or just random happenings. There appears to be some intelligence behind these patrols or inspections of our vehicles, our human ships, before disappearing. And he also speculates that these craft are using the oceans as a home base or operating theater. He argues that the ocean gives a large, concealed, living, working environment that whatever they're doing will just go unseen because we just can't see everything that they're doing down there. And when it comes to like interacting with our technology communications, he cites that that there are Navy experiments where unknown underwater sources mimic or reply to naval signals, implying either curiosity, they're trying to mimic us, or deliberately intercept some of our transmissions and shoot them back at us. Now, it's possible they could be testing us to test our technological capabilities, to see how we react by continuing to interact with us, maybe even provoke us in some way, to provoke us into shooting at them. That's a possible scenario there, but he doesn't really go into that too much. But what is clear is that there is way more activity on the ocean than people probably once thought. So it's a great book. If you guys can pick up, you can buy used copies of it. I think you can find it on Amazon for as low as like $10. And written back in 1970s, you're probably going to get a pretty good representation of the information. It's not going to be polluted with a bunch of stuff that's happened recently. So you got to go to the past to find the truth, I think, or at least an approximation of it. Okay. You got anything else on this, Gretchen? You got anything you want to say?
Bring up on that general topic, and I know most of our audience will be familiar with it, but we do have some younger members of the audience that may not be familiar. So, Jim Cameron did the movie The Abyss in 1989.
Mm-hmm.
It was all about exactly this. It's underwater flying up. What's the term here?
USO, unidentified submerged objects.
Submerged objects.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, it's the U.S. Navy, and they run into it and they detect things, and so they're we had the earlier comment about from Burchett about things moving much faster than possible, and that's kind of where the story in that one starts. I will point out it's on a lot of streaming services. Don't watch that version. There's a much longer version. I think it's called literally the director's cut. It's like an hour longer and has an entire other subplot about nuclear war and all sorts of other stuff going on, which is much. It fleshes out the interactions with the USOs and all that stuff much better. So find that version, but it's a good film all the way around.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot that you mentioned that. And even the director's cut, you're right. There are scenes that are cut out, probably for running time.
It's runtime stuff.
Yeah. But it does flesh out the intent. I believe the intent of these aliens, or at least what they're willing to do if we don't play ball with them. And it's fascinating. And that was 1988 that Cameron put that out? It was a movie he did right before Terminator 2.
It was 88, 89, something like that. The director's cut came out several years after it. So find that one. Let me look it up. The difference in runtime, it's significant.
And by the way, the special effects still hold up. They look great.
Sorry. So apparently there's the Abyss Special Edition, and then there's the Abyss Director's Cut, slightly different, but 30 minutes longer. So you get 30 minutes more of a movie that was hacked out for runtime specifically. So track that one down. Great film, worth it. And that's where this starts, is like, what's going on? What are these things? And he starts off with the Navy detecting them. What are these things? Let's go investigate. Oh crap, we have problems, and then the whole story develops from there. But it is about the director's cut in particular. This huge subplot about potential nuclear war between countries, and this was during the big anti-nuke time frame in the late 80s. But and the interactions with the USOs related to that. So,
well, let's move on. And I'm going to give you a choice, and the chat a choice of what we should talk about next. All right, here. You want to talk about the Hat Man?
No, the other thing.
Well, do you want to talk about the guy in Panama who found a meteorite that morphed into an alien?
Yeah, not really, because that's fake.
It is. Like, it's. I've had so many people send me this video. It's like, oh, Mike, have you checked out this guy in Panama who found a meteorite in his backyard, and it's basically transformed into this black tentacle slime thing, and it's obviously fake. And he even changed the channel of his TikTok to suggest that it's for entertainment purposes only. And he accidentally, in some videos, had boxes from like a Halloween store. So the guy,
yeah, and it's hexane and something that causes this reaction to cause something that looks like it's inanimate to kind of wiggle like that. So
yeah, I agree. R.S. Harmful, the Panama guy, it is entertaining, and he's done a great job. I'll just bring up the screen. I'll talk about 5 minutes. He's done a great job at creating like a storyline, something compelling, but it's fake. It is. He's done a great job as like practical effects and doing something that makes a story, but it's fake, phony, and false. That's all I got to say. And I'll bring it up here on screen. This is what this guy claims is a meteorite. And now it's like the meteorite has transformed into this tentacle creature. Even the meteorite kind of looks like a small potato. But this guy has released a series of these videos, these TikToks, in which this thing continues to grow. He put it in a safe. It's turned black and goo. And he's done a great job. It's I guess fun entertainment, but it's not real. Okay, just looking at the impact crater that this guy found it in, he obviously dug a hole, poured some sort of butane, lighter fluid or something in there, set it on fire, and threw a rock in there. That's it. That's what he did. Okay? Like, I'm as big a believer as anybody that I want this to be true. I'm sorry. It's not.
Well, and I think what's interesting about it is it comes up every couple of days. It floats back up. He's made modifications. He's changed what it looks like. The concept that it's growing. He's got it like in a safe or something like that. Yeah. It reminds me of, practical Hollywood effects by, Rob Bottin and folks like that who did some really top-notch makeup and creature effects in the 70s and 80s and even into the 90s that still hold up 40 years later, whereas early CGI obviously doesn't. So this guy, there's definitely talent here. There's talent, cool. Like from like an artistic standpoint, from like a practical effects, a makeup artist sort of thing. But so I kudos to him for the level of quality that he's putting into this. And if he's just having fun with it, great. Maybe it'll all lead up to some Halloween thing and he gets eaten or whatever. Okay, fine. But it's not a Meteor. Or go back and just watch, we were talking about in the Discord the other day, Creep Show with Stephen King getting eaten by a meteor. So.
Yeah, I as much as I would love for this to be real, it ain't. And I've watched his videos. I was trying like hell to, I want it to be real, people. I do. But I'm sorry, it's not. It's fun. If you think it's real, that's fine. But
in fact, let me put this link in Carrot Shop here for you. So I posted this a couple of days ago. I saw it a few days before that, but there's somebody writing up how to make things move like this, and he says it is polydimethylsiloxane and hexane creates this effect when combined on different surfaces. So
hey everyone, today.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at his hand right now, and it's just kind of moving around. He's got a creepy looking hand. Oh boy.
So these are all tricks of the trade for people.
Hey everyone,
who do
today I'm going to be showing you how I
do,
made this autonomous living tissue. Yeah. Look at it just move in my hand. You can even cut pieces off of it, and it doesn't just die, but the pieces keep wiggling like little worms.
Oh my god.
I don't know what this is. These just wiggle around. This is so scary. So I've tried smashing these, and they don't die. They keep wiggling around.
We gotta call the aquarium or something.
They're actually not. The way they're moving is through something called swelling-induced snapping motion. And they're made from polydimethylsiloxane and a little bit of hexane.
Oh, okay.
So let me show you how I made these and how they're actually moving like this.
Oh, we got a Mr. Wizard now.
Some really thin polydimethylsiloxane. That's abbreviated PDMS.
Don't jump to conclusions.
PDMS.
I mean, yeah, you solved it right there in one video. So, while entertaining, not real. Okay. Sorry, people.
But like I said, quality's great. It's cool. He's kind of continuing with it. And if it's all for entertainment value, I'm all for it. And do some cool some Halloween effects or something with his stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, bullshit.
No, I'm not down on it.
Never.
This is bullshit.
So I guess that leaves us with the Hat Man by default.
Hat Man.
The Hat
That's
Man.
The worst. He's the worst superhero.
It's not a very good name. But this is also making the rounds. Kids are getting familiar with this, and I've looked into the Hat Man. Okay, I've looked into the Hat Man, and we're going to talk about the
all right,
Hat Man.
I'm ignorant of the Hat Man. Tell me all about it.
Okay, we're going to talk about the Hat Man. All right, here we go. Have you seen the Hat Man? Experts reveal the truth behind the ghost-like entity commonly seen during sleep.
Oh, really?
Yes, he's known to haunt people in or from their bed and always watching presence standing in the corner of the room. The Hat Man, who is gaining notoriety through TikTok, is a mysterious shadowy entity witnessed during both the night and during the day. According to witnesses, he comes dressed in a trench coat and a wide-brimmed hat, but has no discernible facial features or eyes. Now experts reveal the truth behind these terrifying spectra, or specter. who may have influenced one of Hollywood's most famous villains. Jane Teresa Anderson, a dream analyst and neurobiologist based in Tasmania, says that the Hat Man is usually seen as a mysterious and featureless man. And the paranormal figure is most often seen during bizarre states of consciousness between wakefulness and sleep. So like the Twilight Zone, like not TV show, but that period of time where your body kind of shuts off. Your brain can still be kind of awake. And there is a perfect time to see these entities, also to experience lucid dreaming, out-of-body experiences, all that kind of stuff. It is a delightful state, but also you're very susceptible to these crazy things. Quote, it may represent a person's deepest, darkest, shadowy fears. So keep that in mind, people. You got some deepest, darkest fears that can expose themselves during the Twilight Zone.
Record deepness, right?
Yeah.
There definitely is a point there when you're kind of drifting in and out of consciousness that some weird shit.
Yeah, your mind's active. Like oftentimes that's when my wife will punch me in the back because I'm snoring, and but I don't realize.
Usually it's the traditional kick to the leg, but a punch in the back.
Here's the thing: I don't even I'm awake. Like I fall asleep. I'm usually listening to a podcast about Star Trek or something like that. Typically, it's Red Letter Media, the top 10 favorite TNG episodes. That puts me right out. I love listening to those guys talk about Star Trek, and I will be listening to that, and I will be snoring, but I don't even realize that I'm snoring. I'm so shut off, but I'm fully engaged in listening to conversations about Star Trek, and then I'll feel this boom, like this shove on the back, and I get, whoa, like what the hell? And she's like, you were snoring again. I was like, I didn't even realize that. Like that's how disconnected my brain was from my body. But the Hat Man is commonly witnessed during sleep paralysis, a state during waking up or falling asleep where we are conscious but cannot move. Now, my wife has experienced this, I guess, much more frequently than I have, where she will be fully awake, fully conscious, but unable to move her body. And she really has to struggle in order to regain control over her limbs. And she obviously, probably a very terrifying state to be in. Quote, when we sleep, our motor muscles are prevented from moving, a physiological state called atonia. It protects us from getting up and acting out our dreams and keeping us safe tucked away in our bed. Oh, interesting. Okay. But if you start to wake up before your body moves out of the state, you may experience an in limbo state, half awake, yet still half dreaming and unable to move. Although sleep paralysis only lasts a few seconds, the terrifying experience feels so real that you feel doomed. Sleep paralysis comes in distressing hallucinations of a terrifying figure holding us down, such as a ghost, a gremlin, the Grim Reaper, or the Hat Man. The evil entity appears to people during sleep paralysis, often depends on their culture, on what they expect to see. So, okay, this is oftentimes within the UFO community. Sometimes these UFO experiences or these weird experiences take your personal belief system and they reflect it back at you. Now, they're attributing the Hat Man, or you can just call them shadow people, to sleep paralysis. I don't know. I mean, that's a mainstream explanation. The paranormal explanation is that these are real dark entities, and they're hovering around you, looking to take advantage of you in a vulnerable state, either to like suck off your life energy, like psychic vampires almost. And they're just waiting for a great opportunity to dig in. And when you're asleep, you're vulnerable, and they'll take advantage. So I don't know if I like this, because there are some people that just see shadow figures, and there are some people that are not even in a paralysis state in which they experience these things. They can attribute that, they can explain it away as sleep paralysis. I don't know if that's always the case. Anderson and several other experts point to Freddy Krueger, the hat-wearing antagonist of the classic horror film A Nightmare on Elm Street, who murders his victims in their dreams. According to this doctor, a neuroscientist from Harvard, the character was influenced by stories of shadowy sleep paralysis figures. But our brains use cultural imagery to give shape to these sensations, he said, meaning the film, in turn, has probably influenced sleep paralysis visions. Possibly. So when we suffer with sleep paralysis, it's the first scary thing our brains think of to explain the frightening situation. Does it always turn, here's the thing. Does it always go to fear? Does it never go to, a nice, loving place? Does it never go to, angelic, healing, enlightening encounters? Or does it always turn dark? For the most part, we're only hearing the bad out of these sleep paralysis stories. Are there sleep paralysis stories where it was good, where I got to have a great conversation with a dead loved one, or I got to meet this really loving, angelic figure, and they healed me? I'm sure there are ones like that, but they're not writing about this in this article. They're focusing on the bad, the Hat Man. So how they wind this up? Let's see here. Texas resident Stacy described witnessing the Hat Man while awake beyond her house when she was a girl, as quoted by the San Antonio Current. As her eyes adjusted to the darkness, Stacy could clearly make out the outline of a humanoid figure standing beyond the white picket fence surrounding her yard. As Stacy watched fearfully, the being began to sidle in stride in strange ways in motion, all the while keeping its outstretched arms on top of the fence post. When she noticed the audible crunching of dry leaves beneath the entity's feet, Stacy was quite sure that she was not dreaming nor imagining things. Understandably terrified, a young girl dove underneath her sheets, quaking in fear until morning. Ultimately, our brains have evolved to sense something or someone present even when it's not there, I guess, according to this doctor. Humans are hardwired to err on the side of detecting someone rather than no one, an adaptive survival advantage, he told the Daily Mail. So they're just blowing it off. Like she was detecting something even though there probably wasn't anything there. So basically the doctor was calling Stacy crazy, even though there are plenty of accounts of people seeing weird humanoid figures throughout human history and not being able to explain it as anything other than a weird shadow figure.
Well, yeah, definitely the shadow people it seems more common than the Hat Man scenario. But it is, I guess, is your take that the Hat Man is just a type of shadow person?
I think so. And I went back and searched through humanoid encounters from the year 1000 to the year 2007. And I couldn't find any... like when it comes to like alien encounters, humanoid encounters, anyone wearing a brimmed hat and a trench coat. The only thing that really kind of fit the description is the Men in Black phenomenon, and that's the only thing that kind of fits it. We're kind of a stylish kind of paranormal entity, which is the Men in Black, which some people think is some weird government organization that is dispatched to intimidate UFO contactees or UFO witnesses to threaten them into shutting up about what they saw. But in the book by Nick Redfern, The Real Men in Black, he basically describes the Men in Black as almost timeless. They're not attached to any military or government organization, and they're much more nefarious, and they span throughout time. Their clothing, their attire can change with the times, but it's almost described as universally. Either they're cloaked, they're hooded, or they're wearing a dark trench coat and a fedora, but their intent is fairly consistent, is witness intimidation and surveillance of people who happen to see paranormal or weird UFO stuff. And I would, that's the most, I guess, similar encounters that people have with the Hat Man versus like Men in Black. Those are like at least when it comes to style, those are the closest that you can make. So, yeah, that's all I got on that. Let's see here. But apparently it's big on TikTok. And people are really talking about the Hat Man on TikTok. And I don't know, I don't know if that's good or bad. Like, I think when sometimes you start talking about this stuff, it's got a way of like manifesting it in your life. And the same with the whole the TikTok witch phenomenon and the TikTok occult practices phenomenon. I understand people want to know what this reality is about, and they want to figure out how to manipulate it for their own gain. But there are dark forces out there, and I think sometimes people tap into it without even knowing that they're doing something bad, or they're calling upon these spirits or stuff, and not even really thinking about the consequences of what they're doing. So, let's see here. What do you say, Cratch? You take a phone call or two, and we get some wacky news?
Yeah, let's take some calls, and then I have two, before we get into the wacky stuff, I have two kind of darker topics, paranormal sort of things that we can touch on before we get into the
awesome
the goofball stuff.
Good. I love it. So we'll head over there and open up the phone lines for all the good people out there. And here we go. Let me make sure I got everything lined up and ready to go. Where's my music? Oh, there we go.
Go ahead, take the phone calls.
There it is. The phone number's on screen. 513-461-2175. And by the way, right now, Stan from Alaska, he should be in anticipation of getting his 5 pounds worth of pumpkin spice. And it is en route right now. It was very difficult to transport that amount of pumpkin spice over state lines, as you know. It's probably,
and you just shipped that loose. You just dumped it into an envelope and just closed it.
It's tough, And when you're running hooch like that, you got to be careful. You don't want the feds coming around, sniffing around your pumpkin spice. 5 pounds of it. It's worth a lot. The street value of that is incalculable.
Sniffer dogs can have some problems with that.
I also sent Stan a book on the Alaskan Triangle. So I don't know if they're going to be delivered at the same time, but he might get a kick out of that.
Did you put some of the spice between each of the pages?
No, they're being shipped separately. So I don't know. Hopefully, Google or Amazon will do that automatically.
Google.
Hello, caller.
But he might get a kick out of that.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Turn up your radio.
Hi, y'all.
Hey, y'all. What's going on?
Nothing. I just wanted to chime in about the Hat Man thing.
Yeah, have you seen him?
Well, yeah, something like that, like a shadow person. Remember, I was going to tell my Ouija boy story, but it was too long.
Okay.
But when we did used to play with the Ouija board, this is back when we were in high school, and I was always afraid of it. I didn't want to play it, but my friends, they were obsessed with it. I mean, they took it with us everywhere. And it was really funny because we all did start. So they say when you play with the Ouija board, the spirit, he's real friendly and everything at first. And then they start getting really mean and scary. They just completely turn on you. And it was when they were playing with it that started happening. We all started getting sleep paralysis, and we all started, I'm sorry, trying to talk too fast, started seeing shadow people. Every one of us. So when you're saying it opens a doorway that you don't know, people don't realize they're doing it, that's true. I mean, I feel like it's true because I went through it, and it was pretty scary.
Yeah, I went through that too. I started playing with the Ouija board right around I think age 14 to 16, and yeah, you're right. It did start off pretty nice. It's friendly. It wanted to give you information, and then I don't know. It just felt like it was. Then it I think it was manipulative and it ultimately not the best. Like it was providing some information, but nothing of real use, nothing that I could tangibly act on in real life. And I think that's the allure of a lot of the stuff is that people are seeking information, something that they could use, but it's like this endless quest where it will just send you into a spiral. And so I stopped playing with it and never touched it again.
Well, I mean, I think the reason why we started playing with it, I'm telling you, as soon as I walked in the room when they first had it out, I didn't even know what it was, but it gave me the creeps. I didn't like it, and I didn't want to play with it. And I would even say a prayer of protection every time they had it out. I don't know why. And it was even funny, if I did put my hands on the planchette, it would move. And they asked it why. This thing was very detailed with the stories that it gave. It was crazy. And they said, well, how come you won't move it when she puts her hands on there? And he said negative energy. But he had a whole long detailed story. But it's like you're saying, he would give information. I'm saying he because he said his name was Johnny. Like one time we were going to a concert and we were running late. It was dark. And my friend's a big animal lover, and she thought she ran over something. And she started freaking out. She's like, I got to go back and make sure it's okay or whatever. And we said, we don't have time. When we come back to drop our friend off, because it was her neighborhood, we'll check it out then. And if somebody says, let's just get the Ouija board out and ask Johnny.
Oh, my God.
And I know. I mean, that's how obsessed they were. They kept it in the car with us. And he told us it was dead news. And we're like, what? Ooh. Dead news. Well, then we went back, to go drop the friend off after the concert. And it was a newspaper that had been run over a bunch of times. Oh. You know how they get soggy when they get rained on?
Yeah.
I mean, now teenage girls can't make that up. I mean, they're not going to come up with that. So they were definitely messing with something, I won't want to say powerful because I don't want to give them that, but it was definitely demonic for sure.
It feels like people are using AI now for their Ouija board, and it's the same intent. It's just moved to a different platform. Real quick, let me ask you, for the past month and a half, how has your sleep been?
Not good.
Me either. Both me and my wife, we have had horrible sleep patterns, waking up quite frequently, very early, and like it's like both her and I have not been sleeping well for I would the best I can calculate it, month and a half.
Right, me as well. I mean, it's very strange. I'll wake up really early and I can't go back to sleep, so I'll watch TV for a couple hours, then go back to sleep because I'm not working right now anyway. But yeah, and I've always been the type of person that as soon as my head, because people would be jealous of me because of it, so, well, as soon as your head hits the pillow, you're out. And it really hadn't been like that for, like you said, probably a good 6 weeks at least.
Yeah, maybe it's like we're able to get to sleep, and we are usually early to bed, but like either one of us, not good sleep, like waking up at 1 a.m. And commonly anymore, we are wide awake at 3 a.m., the witching hour, and I don't know why.
Yes.
And it is very difficult for us to get back to sleep. And so I just want to know if there's anybody else out there experiencing these weird sleep patterns recently, because we feel like we're going crazy over here.
Well, what do you think it is, Mike?
I don't know yet. I have no idea. And the more information, if I know that we're not alone and we can get more information about what people are experiencing sleep pattern wise and where they're at, maybe we can come up with some sort of hypothesis. Right now, we don't know.
Well, maybe I'll start looking into that too, because I didn't think anything of it, because I'm just like, okay, that's just me right now. Just have a weird sleep pattern right now, but it's definitely not normal for me. So
yeah, it's not normal for us either.
And if I find anything, I'll let you know.
All right. Well, hey, thank you for calling up. I really appreciate your phone call.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye, Censoring. And if I find anything, I'll let you know.
Hello, caller. You are on the air.
Hello. Hi, this is Short Fuse. Hey, man, I've been sleeping like crap, waking up between 1 and 3 every morning for several months now. So I'm with you on that. I'd really like to figure that one out.
Yeah, and we're taking nighttime tea And, even during like the weekends where we're out there, like, we're doing some manual labor outside. We should be exhausted, and we're having a tough time sleeping all the way through. And we'll take the Valerian route, nighttime tea, and it's not keeping us asleep.
Yeah, I'm exactly in the same boat. And I've even tried to mess with my coffee intake, been taking the magnesium, whatever, supplements to help me. Nothing works. And every single night between 1 and 3 o'clock, I wake up and I'm awake for solid 2 hours, and then I'll usually fall back asleep. But I usually have to get up around 5:30, so it's a wasted night, and it's been going on for months.
Yeah, the only thing I can blame is the 3-eye Atlas interstellar object.
Maybe.
I'm not. Hey, I say that. I'm not even probably joking. I don't even know if I am, but usually when comets or weird things appear in the sky, there is some disruption here on Earth.
Hey, it's a good reason as any, I guess. I don't know, but I do want it to be over.
Me too. I need good sleep. I do. Well, thank you, Short Fuse. I appreciate you calling up and let me know that we're not alone here. So, okay.
Right on, brother.
All right.
Blow me up.
Take care. All right. I'm going to shut down the phone calls because those are 2 good calls right there. And we shouldn't press our luck, Cratchit.
I'm going to wait for someone to call in with their long and rambling story about something inconsequential.
No, I want to. Or I'm sleeping just fine, and you're the loser. Like, I don't want to hear that. It'd just make me jealous. Okay, let's do your quick little stories there before we get to the wacky news.
All right.
All right.
Let's start with this one from our topic earlier today from the Jimmy Kimmel show. This is from his show, and he even closes it out, so you hear him talking about it. They go to a dark place really quickly with this. And I get that it's another one of their kind of little parody videos, but does raise some questions about what they think is funny, and to your point about when you start talking about evil things, you can kind of start to manifest evil things.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what Jimmy Kimmel's doing on the comedy front. 1 second. Hear me bring this up on screen.
Time, fabric softeners cost a lot, but now there's new Snuggle fabric softener.
Hi, I'm Snuggles. Snuggly softness that's really less expensive. Look, I get towels fluffy, blankets cuddly, even shirts caked with blood. It was an accident. You know what else is soft? Human flesh. Baby flesh. Wait. Where is your baby? Shh, baby's sleeping in snuggly softness, so innocent, so defenseless. The perfect size for a sacrifice. Shh, time to meet your snuggly death. When the dryer's going, they'll never hear you scream. The Dark Lord shall be pleased with me. Snuggle brand fabric softener, proudly made in...
Oh, man.
It's to die for.
Very cute, Jeremy.
It's probably a bit that I would have wrote in my early 20s, but
yeah, I mean, I get it, but it's just like when they're going to those places, it's dark. It's humor. It's dark. It's got some humor to it. It's parody. They're making fun of a innocent commercial about fabric softener, and then suddenly they're sacrificing children to the Dark Lord. So.
It's probably something that I would expect on Adult Swim, and not necessarily Disney. Or ABC Disney, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
well, there's that.
It doesn't really. It's okay. Like I said, it's something I would write in my early 20s, and it sounds like they were scraping the bottom of the barrels of skits to do. So, It's all right. It's not great. Not bad, though. You got another one over there?
Yes, I do. So, all right. So this one then, here's the story about it. So this gets dark pretty quick.
Oh!
And then I have the edited version that stayed up, and then the original archive one from the day of.
Oh, okay.
Just if you want for reference.
Let's see here. Oh, this is Jezebel. This is, I think, an online publication. Removes article about hiring witches to curse Charlie Kirk. Published 2 days before he was assassinated.
Oh, really?
I mentioned that headline. Yeah, I remember. Jezebel has pulled down a story from its website with the headline, "We paid some Etsy witches to curse Charlie Kirk." The publication said it did so on the recommendation of our lawyers. So they don't want to be culpable for creating a curse. After Kirk, a prominent MAGA influencer, was shot and killed September 10th. Yes. As of Friday, September 12th, the article page has been updated with a new headline, update to the Jezebel Charlie Kirk story. This is what the new article says. Oh, it totally removed the witch's curse.
Right. So right afterwards, for the first 2 days or so after the assassination, if you scroll down to the paragraph that says the new editor's note.
Yes.
Where's the comment here? Oh, it's in the second sentence. The piece was intended as, so this is from the editor's note. On Monday, September 8th, we published a humorous piece titled "We Paid Some Etsy Wishes to Curse Charlie Kirk." The piece was intended as satire and made it absolutely clear we wished no physical harm. We stand by every word. Of course, the next day, then they deleted the entire article. So, just, I think it's stuff in bad taste, and however you want to take it, but this is the level of kind of discourse that's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Curses, whether you believe they're real or not, as talked about in Dean Radin's book, Real Magic, they can work. So I don't know how reputable the Etsy witches are when it comes to their power of influence, but there is measurable outcome in some of these curses. And there's a new documentary out. I think even Sam and I played it on Doom Scrolling about this guy who's going all around the world urging witch doctors and shamans to curse him because he wants to see if curses are real. I forget the name of that. I'll dig up the name of that the documentary because it sounds fascinating.
Well, what about the guy who was writing stuff on his arms? He was like scrying on his arms before going to bed or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to him. Oh, that was weird too. Oh God. Oh, that was that weird number that they were scrying on their arms. I think so. Yeah.
So I put a second link into Carrot Shop, which is the original article archived on archive.org. So you can, if you just want kind of a taste of what the quote unquote humorous article was originally doing and why all of a sudden Jezebel felt the need to come out and again, this was before the assassination, but for Jezebel to come out and personally attack Charlie Kirk is just kind of a strange thing to do.
Yeah. So here it is. So, who is Charlie Kirk? If you've never heard of him, I envy you. He debates college kids for sport, pop-ups on Fox News, and founded the right-wing conspiracy theory factory Turning Point USA. Built as a nonprofit, Turning Point is less about charity and more about funneling far-right propaganda into dorm rooms under the guise of educating young voters. And that's their opinion about what he was doing. Mm-hmm. Disclaimer: the ethics of cursing a stranger. Now, it is ethical to curse a. Now, is it ethical to curse a man I've never met? Probably not. But is it unethical to let him keep talking? Yes. So here we are in a gray area. Well, this is why they. I wonder if they left that part up. Is it ethical to keep letting a person talking? Interesting. So. Oh, they removed that part of their update.
They deleted the entire article. It's
they deleted that part. I want to make it clear. I'm not calling for dark forces to cause him harm. I just want him to wake up every morning with an inexplicable zit. I want his podcast microphone to malfunction every time he hits record. I want his blue blazer to suddenly be one size too small. I want one of his socks to always be sliding down his foot. Well, this is what they're wishing for, but we don't know what the witches cursed him for. We don't know.
Oh, well, that they give that farther down.
Oh. Buying the curse. Naturally, I did what any serious journalist would do. I typed curse enemy into Etsy, and 5,000 results came up. The options were endless. I could try karmic revenge, same-day bad luck curse, or insanity hex. Or one of my personal favorites, simply hex Republicans. The reviews were their own kind of magic. One 5-star review for a career crusher curse read, "She always has such a sweet, charming, bubbly personality. Not exactly the witches of Salem. These etchy witches were streamlined for the internet age and spoke fluent emoji. I found the crown jewel. Shit your pants spell. Review, it really works. Thank you." And that's the point. It was clear. I need to order multiple curses at different severity levels and price points to guarantee results. Oh, she just basically picked one of each. Okay.
Yeah, she did multiple, and she gets into it here. The make everyone hate him curse, the powerful hex spell, and then where's the third one here? What did they call this third one?
The shit your pants?
No. It's farther down here where they're talking about using ingredients and burning MAGA hats and all sorts of stuff. So, it was a photograph in flames of Charlie. A photograph of Charlie Kirk in flames was sent back to her as proof of the curse.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where they call out for silencing and they call out for people to engage in hate. Which, hey, that's go ahead, believe what you want. Right. But then when the guy gets assassinated the next day or 2 days later, not saying there's correlation there, but maybe knock that shit off.
Yeah. So in witches we trust. So did my Etsy curse work? Time will tell. The forces move in mysterious ways. And as the priestess reminds me, spell work is a collaboration between the caster, the client, and the universe itself. For now, we can only trust in the timing of the great unknown. A special thanks to the witches of the modern age who worked tirelessly to hex Republicans and topple the conservative regime and the occasional ex-boyfriend. Your work is appreciated. And to you, Mr. Kirk, may the rash come swiftly. Well, you can't control it. Sometimes these curses get out of control. You wish for one thing, and it spirals out of control. So I guess who wrote this? I wonder if they've commented on this.
Claire Guinan is her name.
Let me see if she's on TikTok or not TikTok, but Twitter at all, and see if she's commented about the curse. Is this her? No, she may have taken herself off of.
No, she's still posting crap as of the 18th, anyway.
Okay. I can't find her on
She
Twitter.
did some hard-hitting journalism here, a conversation between Kate Middleton and Melania Trump.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh, okay. It's another. Oh, I see what it is. This is more AI, or not AI, parody crap. Because it says right here, disclaimer, this is an imagined transcript. So this is what they post on
really?
Jezebel, so.
Okay. Well.
All right.
Yeah.
Entertainment, I suppose.
All right. Well, Cratchit, let's get to some goofy news, if that wasn't goofy enough, but I think these curses are something to be aware of. Okay.
Did you ever take a dump made you feel like you just slept for 12 hours?
Let's start with this one. It's not quite goofy, but it is. It's prescient. It's relative to and related to what we were discussing earlier with unidentified submerged objects to some extent. How about whales trying to talk to us?
Yes.
Because one of the tales you were relating about the USO story there was very much describing how a whale behaves.
Yes,
it'll pace boats and then it will dive deep below them, sort of thing. So
Here's the headline here. Whales are trying to communicate with us through water bubbles, reveals SETI.
Oh, really?
Instead of like crop circles, we have water circles here. Literally, that's what we're looking at on screen here. Some pretty precise whale bubbles. Pretty good job, guys. I couldn't draw a circle that perfect. Have you ever imagined if alien life were right under our noses? And when I say under, I mean literally beneath us, in the oceans. The underwater world of our planet is fascinating and reveals an environment so mysterious and unknown that it could be considered truly alien. More and more, we send monitoring equipment to such as sensors and cameras into the depths of the abyss. We capture images of a vast, rich, and complex biodiversity that inhabits these places. This makes us reflect that within the water, still on our own planet, there exists an alien world waiting to be explored, as we talked about with Jim Cameron. Let's see here. Among marine creatures, the octopus always arouses great fascination when we talk about alien beings on Earth. It is truly remarkable and seems entirely foreign to our usual environment. However, the creature that may offer us insight closest to something alien in terms of intelligence and communication may not be as visually striking as the octopus. Whales, with their complex and acute intelligence, may be the first among all terrestrial animals to attempt conscious communication with us. What about dolphins? They ain't no slouches either. This attempt at communication could help us better understand forms of non-human intelligence and guide the search for life beyond Earth. Let's see if we can get down here. Why is SETI looking at the oceans? They got to keep your eyes in the sky, okay?
They are not watching the skis.
Okay. Marine photographer and co-author Jordi Fredinani from UC Davis emphasized that this curious behavior, the whale bubbles, is common. We have identified several humpbacks from different populations around the world that voluntarily approach boats and swimmers blowing bubble rings around these encounters. It's remarkable to witness this combination of curiosity and intelligence in action. Do they use the? I could have swore I read that the whales use these bubbles also to funnel fish. Like they use.
There's definitely part of that, yeah, and that's kind of what they're getting at here is that what they initially thought, and you brought up dolphins, and dolphins have been observed doing this as well. What they initially thought was purely for a hunting kind of behavior. Exactly, you're exactly right. For funneling fish, for creating the bubble fields, which messes with not echolocation, but sonar and stuff that animals use. But they seem to do it for communication, and maybe they're trying to communicate with us, not just with each other.
Well, I mean, I appreciate them reaching out like this. It'd be nice if we just treated the oceans just a little better. Be nice. Maybe we have a lot to learn from Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, that's for sure. A previous article by the team was published in Peer J titled Interactive Bioacoustic Playback as a Tool to Detect and Explore Non-Human Intelligence, Conversing with the Humpback Whale from Alaska. Well, that's a long article or long study. Pare that down a little bit. Okay, there they go. But I do have coincidentally, I did find this clip. I stored this. I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to play this on the show, but it came out September 19th, and this is some girl talking about the CIA censoring dolphins. So here we go.
The CIA ran a bunch of experiments and research on marine mammal consciousness and its potential for human connection right before they made it illegal to deliberately communicate with any kind of marine mammal life under the MMPA. And this is because the CIA is hiding the fact that there are aliens at the bottom of the ocean, and the dolphins that aren't able to be brainwashed the same way that humans are would definitely expose this secret to us. Who said that?
So is she on all the Ritalin? Or
I don't know, but she said a mouthful right there. And she's saying that the CIA has banned communication with marine life because the marine life would communicate with us the secrets of the planet.
Tell us about all the USOs.
Maybe. That's possible. Let's not forget a little TV show called SeaQuest. Okay? You remember that show, Cratchit? SeaQuest?
I didn't until just right now. Wow.
Well,
That's a flashback.
Remember,
it was in the early 90s.
It starred the guy from Jaws and Blue Thunder. I forget his name.
Roy Scheider.
Yes. And in that TV show, they had a dolphin that could talk because they hooked up an electronic gizmo to it, and it communicated with us.
Didn't the dolphin swim around in tubes all over this giant submarine?
I think so. That was a good show. I
was
gotta
it, though?
Okay. It was okay.
Didn't they dramatically change the show about halfway through because the ratings weren't there? They were trying to do Star Trek Underwater, and the ratings weren't there, so they made it about, like, fighting nuclear pirates or some crap.
Pretty exciting. Probably a pretty good gig for Roy Scheider as later on in life. But Blue Thunder was awesome. Remember that helicopter? Pretty cool.
Interesting story about that helicopter. There was so much crap attached to the front of the helicopter for the movie, it was very difficult to fly.
Yeah. Awesome. Remember that scene in Blue Thunder where
that movie also starred Malcolm McDowell, who was then in Star Trek Generations.
How about that? What role did Malcolm play?
He was in which? In Star Trek?
No, in Blue Thunder.
He was the antagonist.
Oh, okay. I remember, like, in Blue Thunder, he took the helicopter up to our apartment building. He turned on his thermographic, and he watched that woman like get nude, like, but he only saw the heat signature. And I remember, like, watching it as like a young person. Like, I was probably like 6 at the time, 7 when that came out. 82, 83,
yeah, something like that. It was all in prep for the 84 Olympics.
I was like, am I seeing a naked woman for the first time? I don't know.
Oh, man.
Because it was like all pixelated thermographic, like Predator vision. And I don't know if I'm seeing a naked woman or not. I didn't know how to feel.
Oh.
With Daniel Stern, who then went on to rob houses with Joe Pesci.
The Wet Bandit. Yes, great movie. All right.
After he got kicked off the force.
All right, let's move on here, okay?
Okay.
Aw, shucks.
All right, so this story comes from a friend of the show, Steve Fox. He's always sending in interesting news stories. This one, double whammy, because it's strange news about dumb criminals from Ohio. We love all that. So Akron, in fact.
Oh.
Right in your neck of the woods there. So here's a guy who had a grand plan to make some extra money. He's not very good at it, apparently, because just selling stuff that your company owns is not really a good way to go.
Here we go.
Oh, and there's a local news story. I did vet. It is indeed a local news story about this topic.
It comes from Akron right here. Administrator suspended after selling Akron Public Schools lawnmower on Facebook Marketplace.
We're doing it.
Wow. What about the grass? And let's not forget, Akron, famous for LeBron James producing rubber and the Akron pooper. We covered that story at length on the show of a serial pooper on the loose in Akron taking a dump or crap on people's lawns and cars. And I don't even know if we got that guy, but he's still on the loose as far as we know.
Maybe it's the same guy.
This guy looks like he could definitely take a crap on someone's car.
This could be the guy.
Yeah, I don't know. He got into public service. And so now he's
hide in plain sight working for the schools.
They'll never
They
find
never
me.
suspect me.
Here it is. Well,
Akron school and
we pump this up.
school employees.
Hold on a second.
You don't want to boost, rotate, and enhance that.
I'm gonna get this pumped up. There we go.
Suspended after selling school lawnmowers on Facebook. The board voting to suspend Stephen Keenan last week. According to the agenda, Keenan traded in 11 APS lawnmowers without the board's permission so he could buy new lawnmowers for the district.
I have to
Then
do it.
bought 7 of the trade-in lawnmowers under a friends and family discount for about $5,700.
Sounds like a good deal.
He then listed 5 of them on Facebook for nearly $15,000.
Whoa.
He's suspended without pay while the board considers his firing.
Well, he may have done something wrong yet. Is this considered embezzling?
I'm not sure exactly what they're going to charge him with, but basically he sold lawnmowers the district owned to get some cash. He bought new lawnmowers at a discount and then turned them around onto onto Facebook Marketplace. So embezzlement or just straight up theft, however you want to phrase that.
Was that wrong? Should I not have done that?
But to George Costanza's comment there, they probably during the initial onboarding with HR, they probably don't say explicitly, don't sell our stuff on Facebook.
It's not in the employee handbook.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Yeah.
I gotta plead ignorance on this thing because if anyone had said anything to me at all when I first started here that sort of thing was frowned upon.
Exactly. Ignorance is your best friend here, pal.
And presumably they caught him because he was selling it on Facebook Marketplace under his real name.
Yeah, well, he only has one Facebook account, and and he's it's tough to sell out stuff on Facebook Marketplace because people are wondering, is this a scam? Is this too good to be real? You need to have some sort of reputation, and this guy does work for the school board, so he is a person of reputation, and he might be able to, because of his reputation, because of his profile, he probably command a higher dollar value if you just had like some weird random Facebook account. So
I'm curious, why would you even if you're going through with this process, why would you then sell 5 of the 7 lawnmowers at one time? That seems a little sketchy.
You're flooding the market.
You're going to want to portion that out a little bit. You're going to want to drag that sale out, but to just come straight out and say 5 lawnmowers, $14,000.
It is success because you are flooding the market and you're basically competing against yourself at that
who's
point.
Buying 5 lawnmowers at a time?
It doesn't make a lot of sense. All right.
Me, Hulk Hogan.
Hulk likes lawnmowers.
He loves. Yeah.
That's for damn sure.
He attaches all 5 of them side by side.
He rides them all at the same time, standing on them.
Hulk owns a lot of property, has a lot of lawn to mow, but he likes to use a different mower every day of the week.
Would you move to Minnesota so we can get married there the first chance we get?
A lot of property in Minnesota, that's for sure. I bet this guy he's got to be a tweaker. The only reason he either has gambling debts or he needs drug money right now. That's the only reason you'd sell. How many lawnmowers? 6, 7 lawnmowers at one time?
5 of them.
5.
What's he doing with the other 2? That's what I want to know. Was he keeping 2 of them?
Yeah,
I made out on this deal. I sold some mowers, made some cash, got 2 lawnmowers out of it.
That's for personal use.
Got a lot of lawn.
Keep those close to the chest. Don't let anybody know I got these. And he's got to have something available for the grounds, or else people are going to start asking questions. We don't need a lot of people snooping around here about his lawn mowing.
Oh, you're saying, okay, so he's holding 2 back to use in the school district so people don't start asking questions, what happened to all our lawnmowers?
Well, then
because they still see them out there.
Well, we got 2. The rest are being repaired. They're being...
The rest are on order.
Yeah, and probably because he is an administrator, people are like, okay, this guy's doing a good job. He's doing maintenance on these lawnmowers. These lawnmowers are critical to our school for upkeep and just making everything look nice. So he got caught, though. He got caught.
Oh.
All right, Cretched. Let's move on and see what else you got over there.
All right.
Give me some alcohol!
So we're always promised flying cars are coming soon.
Yep.
Right around the corner.
Any day.
And one of the concerns about flying cars, just from a logistical standpoint, is how are these going to be operated safely? How are they going to be regulated so you don't just have random people driving cars all over the place or flying cars all over the place? At what altitudes? Where are they going to be flying from? Is it just point to point? How's that going to work?
You got to assume autopilot, right? You got to assume.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
So there's a company in China. They are showing off their now flying cars. And most of these flying cars these days it's basically a big drone you can strap yourself to.
Yeah.
So they're showing off their flying cars at an air show, and 2 of them whack into each other and crash.
Could you give me an AI image of a guy duct taped to a giant drone? And that's
I will work on that.
How Chinese are traveling now. Oh my God! Oh no, this is not good. Oh, flying cars crash into each other at Chinese air show.
Hey yo!
Oh no, this is not good for sales. That's for sure. 2 flying cars crashed into each other at a rehearsal for an air show in China, which was meant to showcase their technology.
You know, there's a similar story about that in China.
We're reading about a story in
It's
China.
that one, Joe.
This is the
We've already
story.
covered it.
I think this is it. The Xpeng Aero HT vehicles collided midair with one catching fire during landing, the company said in a state. Oh, my God. You don't want them to catch fire. Crashing's one thing. When you add fire to the mix, that really is not good. Because people, you're like, oh, I could survive a crash. But surviving a crash and a fire? It's not good.
Yeah, I saw there was a video the other day of who's the Oculus guy, Palmer Luckey, who bought one of these types of things. It's basically a small roll cage with large electric motors around it, and he was flying it around at like 10, 12 feet, just trying to be safe. But at the same time, I'm thinking, once you get these things up there, you find yourself quickly at 100 feet off the ground. If that craps out, you're dead. And there's no airbag. There's no any way to save any of that because it's all based on weight. But your velocity's tremendous. So the amount of forces involved in some of these. This is why flying cars are never going to be a good idea.
Well, not unless it turns into an Amazon service where Amazon sends a drone to pick you up, and and then someone's liable.
Trust that.
And then someone's liable.
What, just a basket
in
front of your house?
Yes.
You gotta go to work, honey.
You step into the basket, it picks you up, and it takes you to your destination. And then there you go. Bye. I'll have dinner waiting.
So is there an option, as part of that service, is there an option to pay for like an express, just take me from here to work?
Yeah.
Or is there a cheaper version which makes stops along the way to drop off Amazon packages?
Yeah, it's almost kind of like they give you ads to pay for it. So yeah, I think the cheaper option is like
give you ads.
We got to make 5 stops along the way, and you're going to have to go deliver these packages, but you get a free ride to work.
Yeah, it's free for you, but you got to get out and deliver packages.
Let's see here, footage of the Chinese on social media site in China, Weibo, appeared to show a flaming vehicle on the ground, which was being attended to by fire engines. One vehicle sustained fuselage damage and caught fire upon landing. That's not good. All personnel at the scene are safe, and local authorities have completed an on-site emergency measure in an orderly manner, so no one's freaking out there. The electric flying cars take off and land vertically. The company is hoping to sell them somewhere around for $300,000. Well, this whole thing about taking off and landing vertically, that's the plan. But they're not doing that. They're crashing into each other. They obviously have no guidance system to let them know that they're too close to an object.
There's your picture.
Oh, there is a Chinese man duct taped to a drone, and he seems happy. He seems
he's enjoying his commute to work.
He seems very optimistic about his travel. Why isn't he drinking like a Slurpee or something like that? What is he?
You didn't say make him drink a Slurpee.
It's inferred. Like he's going to be very parched by the time he gets there.
He's parched. I'm not sure a Slurpee's going to help with that.
I don't know. At least they're fun. There is still considerable hurdles for this form of transportation in terms of infrastructure regulation and public acceptance. However, some analysts say China is attempting to replicate the success it has had with EVs by pushing early adoption of all tech that will eventually become widely used. Yeah, China is just going to order people into these drones, and they're going to force travel like this in order to alleviate highway congestion, which is a huge problem in China with people going to work. We've read about in China, sometimes they have traffic jams that last for 12 days. Well, this is their solution. Duct taping your employee to drones.
And this crash happened at an air show. So they were clearly hot dogging it a bit, and that's what happened. That's why you get a lot of crashes at air shows. But it also then crashed down, onto the ground on the airfield, so there's nothing below. What happens when this sort of thing anyone can have, and they get into collisions in the air above residential areas, and then they land on your house?
Yeah, just gonna go up. Full neighborhoods just gonna go up in smoke. Let's see here. However, some analysts,
especially near Amazon warehouses where they're being asked to run in and deliver stuff quickly.
It has been said the company wants to lead the world in the low-altitude economy. Last year, a pioneering European flying car firm was bought by a Chinese firm. Oh, okay. They bought it and ran it into the ground, literally, with crashing stuff. Okay. All right. I tell you what, this European flying car looks pretty stylish. These Japanese just look like a bunch of drones. I don't know what's the best. Okay. Well,
and there's also the flying cars that Moeller's been trying to make them for years. This one that they're talking about here in is this a Danish one, I think, or something? But he his car basically turns into a plane, so it's not quite the same because it still requires a runway and a lot of space. And then with the wings out, it's much wider, obviously, than a car. The real promise of the Jetsons is you have a car that is exactly the same size as your regular car. It just takes off vertically and flies you to work. So.
Yeah,
I can fly. I'm pilot.
No.
They just ask. Is anyone here a pilot? You are? Here you go. Enjoy.
I don't know. The Jetsons. The Jetsons is much more like that vision is like Back to the Future Part 2, where the wheels flip up and they have Mr. Fusion, and somehow Doc Brown is able to magically navigate the DeLorean through what appears to be a very congested skyway. So,
by the way, here's your updated image. The man now enjoying his commute to work with his coffee.
Yeah, I see.
And he's scrolling TikTok.
I see. There you go.
I would not trust a drone that makes that noise.
No.
Not that one either.
It's the closest I have to like Jetson music. So
where's the how about that one? There you go.
There we go.
But see, look how relaxed he is. He's happy. He's avoiding all the traffic.
Yeah.
I'm assuming his wife had the duct tape in.
Hold on. Here we go.
I'm assuming his wife had to duct tape him in here for safety, but he gets to scroll TikTok and enjoy a coffee on the way to work.
He just better not move his head. Those blades are awfully close to his head. Oh my God.
For short people only.
Well, they are getting taller and taller in China, so it could be a problem. So.
Now that's the sound you want of a drone. You want that sound when someone says, "Hey, our meeting's starting in 2 minutes. Where's Mike?"
There he is. Made it right down into his seat. Now I'm just slamming cartoon doors. If they added these wacky sound effects to these Chinese flying cars, I'd take a ride. Sure.
Have you seen there is a video floating around where somebody dubbed in. I think it was it John Wick? Somebody dubbed a scene from John Wick with all those cartoon sounds.
Oh, really?
Instead of the sounds from the film.
I'm gonna watch that after the show. All right, I think we got to get out of here. I think that's our time. Oh, thank you everyone for hanging out on this Saturday, episode 1329. Yeah, episode 1329. Holy moly. I can't believe we made it.
Wait, that means 1330 next?
1330 is next. Wow.
Oh, wow.
And then 1333 is coming up.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
You guys can go to obdmpod.com or ourbigdommouth.com if you want to support the show. We're doing a drawbridge of donations soon, adding to the Cave of Honor. I believe in the Cave of Honor we have, what do we got? Oh, yeah, we have the 1992 Plymouth Laser. We got a washer-dryer combo. It looks like a 1980s dual disc drive. We do have a hot dog machine on the ground, and we have a night pickle. I think we got to add some more stuff in there, though, for people to enjoy in the Cave of Honor.
That's some sort of flying car back there.
Oh, you know what? Let's see if we can get that. Let's see if we can outfit that 1992 Plymouth Laser give it the Doc Brown treatment. Get added a Mr. Fusion to it and rotating tires so it can float. There we go. Flying car, 1992 Plymouth Laser. We're going to do that.
Really?
It's pretty advanced from Plymouth Laser.
Yeah. If Doc Brown can turn a DeLorean into a flying car, we can do a 1992 Plymouth Laser.
Mm-hmm. Well, he did that because he figured if he's going to have to build a time machine, he might as well build it with some style.
Exactly. Plymouth Laser, the height of class and style. That's what I'm talking about. Or I can do it in like a 1985 Chevy Chevette. So it's your choice.
1974 Dodge Power Wagon?
Maybe a Dodge Power Wagon.
1986 Mercury Lynx?
Submit your ideas in the Discord of what you want to see in the Cave of Honor. What flying car do you want in the Cave of Honor?
I'd like to see the giant Chinese drone. That's what I want to see.
Okay. Well, those are very dangerous. We don't need those flying around in the Cave of Honor. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Cratchit. Thank you. And Shabla go!
Keep watching the skis. There's drones up there everywhere.
Wow. Yeah.
You killed
What are you trying to do? There's a similar story about that in China.
Really? And he texted his dad
because this is civil war.
I'm not talking about the Hey, yo, why do people despise the Republican Party?
That's about all.
Shablagu.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
Till next time, take care of yourself and each other.
Until next week. Nanu. Nanu.
Oh, do I smoke? I'm a chain smoker.